Well, Goldie, thank you again for allowing us to participate this morning. It's always an honor to support your events. And my appreciation to Mike and Josh for taking time out of your busy schedules and sharing your thoughts and insights. So this morning, I want to kind of take the discussion into an area where we start looking at how we use and integrate emerging technologies in the department under the auspices of the IT modernization umbrella, realizing that currently not all new and emerging tech is innovative, and the fact that we must differentiate between innovation that matters versus innovation that doesn't matter, and almost need to be dogmatic. Listening to what Bill was just saying about making sure that we get information to the mission's edge. How are we actually effectively defending and driving our investment decisions? So with that, I'm going to toss my first question to you, Josh, relative to how would you say the DoD is applying emerging technologies today, and what creative solutions are you exploring to drive the right change in terms of people, culture, and technology?
Thanks so much, Chris. Well, first of all, I think you framed the question perfectly, because it's not just tech, it's really people and culture and tech. One of the things that we always say on the Defense Innovation Board is that DoD does not have an innovation problem. It has an innovation adoption problem. We have an $80+ billion R&D budget, which is more than Apple, Google, Facebook, all those companies combined. We have over 100,000 engineers, more engineers than any company in America. We're great in innovation. Where we're challenged is adoption. And that is not a technical problem. That is an organizational problem. It's a cultural problem. So we focus our attention there. One of the things that I think we try to do most of all in the Defense Innovation Board, and Mike will talk about this because it's a big part of the DIU mission as well, is how do we influence leaders at all levels of command in the organization to think differently about their mission. And that includes emerging tech. And for us, its velocity is the most important indicator. We both work with Mike Griffin, who's the Chief Technology Officer of the department. He has said again and again he's focused on speed. So when we think about emerging tech, it's really emergent to the department, not emergent to the world. Modernization and not innovation is often the right frame for this, because we're trying to get the department to adopt the very best technology of the late 90s. We can do a lot better than that, and that is why it's so important to have DIU on the point for this, because a lot of these technologies are really well understood in industry, in the commercial world, but the department just has these cultural barriers to adoption, and so it's really about using the techniques that DIU uses every day and the kind of advocacy and persuasion that we do with the leaders that we advise to try to help them figure out just how to get to what is accepted, mature, commercially available, not even state of the art, but just state of the current practice in America. That's really where we're aiming, and the goal is not 3 to 5 years. It's what can we do in 3 to 5 weeks.
Excellent. So Mike, with understanding how emerging technology, how does ET, emerging technology, I'm abbreviating now, provide the government that structural capacity for change? So what would you say that are the top 5 national defense tech trends that DIU is looking to invest in now, and understanding that you've got a short 24-month develop, deploy, relook window? What do you see on the horizon? Understanding your horizon is very short.
Thank you, Chris. So DIU, we leverage commercial technology to solve challenging DoD problems. And as Josh pointed out, we're looking for the emergent tech for the Department of Defense. So we're looking for technology that's relevant to the department's mission set. And we have broken our portfolios down to 5 focus areas. We have artificial intelligence and machine learning, automation, IT, human systems, and space. And of course, if you think about those, they all overlap. I use the example that automation without AI is like a dumb bomb. Slight oversimplification, but illustrates my point. And each of our portfolios is led by a portfolio lead and project managers that manage all of the projects that we have in each one of those. And what we also do, though, is we keep an eye out for other technology that's coming that may have relevance for the DoD mission set. One example is we're looking at power and energy right now and the technology advances that are being done there from a tactical and operational perspective. There's a lot of advances in batteries, longer lasting, smaller, and it's clear the application to the warfighter and the DoD mission set there. we're also looking at it from an operational perspective and grid resiliency as it would apply to forward operating bases or even stateside operating bases, and the emerging technology that we can leverage in that case. But you're right. What we look to do is we look to use OTAs, other transaction authority, that's allowed by statute and specifically outlined in the 16 NDA, to put prototype projects on contract within 60 to 90 days. Our fastest has been 31 days, and we're averaging right about 100 days right now to put the prototype contracts, or put those on award. And then we're looking to field that within about 24 months. So we're looking to really accelerate the technology to the warfighter. So we think that those 5 focus areas that we have kind of capture the emerging technology for the DoD mission set, but we're always keeping an eye out for what's coming next.
So let me just add on that for a second. Understanding that OTA is coming in vogue now, any guidance for other agencies that may not have that capability in hand right now so that they can actually start to accelerate the adoption of emerging technologies? Any insight there you can share?
Yeah, absolutely. Give us a call. We're open for business. And part of our mission is we want to spread the ink blot. We don't want to keep all of this capability for ourselves. Our success for us is infecting the entire system so that we can accelerate all technology to the warfighter. And OTAs have been around for approximately 50 years. They've just evolved a little bit, but it is an authority that's been out and around for some time. And a lot of folks think that it is a way around the FAR, which is not accurate at all. It is one more way to acquire items for the Department of Defense. Excuse me.
All right, now kind of a question for both of you, and understanding, as I've learned this morning, that you guys work very closely together. Beyond the two of you, how will DoD and the DIU collaborate to bring innovative, emerging technology solutions to the market and into the warfighter's hands quickly? And what are those primary challenges or obstacles you need to overcome to execute that?
So the Defense Innovation Board and DIU work very, very closely together. In fact, we share office space. We share a refrigerator and a microwave. And nothing says collaboration like breaking bread together, except when you have to decide who's cleaning the microwave. But no, we work very close together. As Josh pointed out, we are both in R&E now in the Department of Defense with many other innovation entities. And that's part of how we collaborate internally. We work together to capitalize on all the strengths of each of those organizations, to on-ramp and off-ramp the innovation folks into getting technology to the warfighter. But then externally, we work very well together, reaching out to VC companies and the non-traditional companies to demonstrate that the Department of Defense is a sophisticated business partner. We are a responsible and a trustworthy business partner. We use DIU to demonstrate a path to the marketplace and a demonstration of lowering of barriers to the defense marketplace. And then we work with the Defense Innovation Board to attract other businesses across the country because we are looking for the best technology that the U.S. has to offer to get to our men and women in uniform. Josh?
So we advise senior leaders in the department, but part of what we also do is we engage people at all levels. And so one of our favorite stories, which I'm not going to tell here because we don't have time, but it's really well captured in a Fast Company story, was about how the board's visit to an air operations center out in Al Udeid, right, out on the edge, exposed that there was an opportunity to build an app that was going to save the department millions of dollars and was going to save the airmen thousands of hours and was going to be great for the mission. And having representatives of DIU with us on the trip led them to figure out how to prove that the department could write its own app to solve this problem. And then we took that example and we made it famous, and we made it popular. And we went and we inspired people across all the services to know that they could replicate this kind of success. And then the Air Force scaled that out into a project they have in Boston called Kessel Run, where hundreds of airmen are now writing their own software for the mission. And they're doing it in partnership with industry. And I was there last week, and I went up and I was talking about our mission, and we met people from MITRE, from Raytheon, Pivotal Labs, lots of airmen, and you couldn't tell who was who. There's airmen who are in civilian clothes writing apps, and it looks as if just they're like a hacker right out of DEF CON. And that is the future that we see. And that was born out of a common vision and delivered product that was a collaboration between DIU and DIB. And we want to see that kind of success story in the Navy at the Digital Warfare Office, in the Army with Futures Command, in the Marine Corps with NextLog. And we're mapping that ecosystem and figure out who are the change agents, and then how do we support them. And sometimes that support is genuinely moral support, telling them, we understand what an enormous burden it is that you bear on your shoulders trying to transform the largest organization on this earth. We know that that's hard for that change agent, right? But knowing that we have their support and that we can advise and mentor them, that they have DIU to turn to, that there's many in the department, Defense Digital Service, another example, right? That is the difference between having a good idea and having an actual change at the edge.
Great response. I'm going to kind of pull on that a little bit. You both referenced internal collaboration with the department. Last year, or last 18 months, after OMB codified IT modernization as a key government-wide initiative, we've certainly seen an increase in the dialogue between public and private sector leaders. From your vantage point, what role or focus should industry have to help you meet government modernization objectives and decrease the integration risk over the next 2 to 3 years? Focus as industry now.
Right, so industry. As I said, we really target the non-traditional companies, the folks that have not done business with the department in the past. They may have evaluated the $717 billion defense marketplace and said, no, thank you, because it's too hard, it takes too long, too many barriers, it's too expensive. A long yes is more expensive than a short-term no. So we typically focus on the non-traditional companies. But really, to bring that to the modernization to the department, it's going to be a collaborative effort between the non-traditionals and the traditional systems integrators. We reach out with a DoD partner to find the commercial technology to solve challenging DoD problems. Bring that back, and then we need to work as a facilitator with the traditional systems integrators to understand how to insert that technology into a lot of systems that we already have. And that's a role of DIU, is to work as that facilitator. And we will continue to try new things, try new processes to bring to the department. We'll continue to take some risks, and we'll continue to iterate, because that is in the DNA of DIU.
All right, I'm not going to pull any punches here, I'm going to be totally honest with you. We all know that protests to contracts are not helping us advance innovation at speed. So lots of protests are not helping government. Obviously, everyone has rights and they should exercise them, but you asked a question, maybe an honest answer. Here's another, and it's not helpful. Selling the department waterfall development techniques that don't work because it's part of your existing business model is super unhelpful. We have a lot of people who are leaders in the department who are excellent at leading men and women in combat, and they're not IT experts, and they are trusting industry to know what the best practice is. And when industry leaders are invited to help shape a requirement in the acquisition process, and they are trying to shape the requirement for their existing business model, which may be obsolete, not helping the department advance. So, those companies should be really investing internally to upskill to the data science and agile software development that they need. So rather than trying to help the government buy what's available, they need to update their products and they need to upgrade to the state of the art, because we are going to continue to work with the companies that have supported us traditionally for decades, and we should, but those traditional suppliers need to be heavily involved in turning themselves into cloud native AI companies that are capable of keeping pace. So, I think, that internal upskilling, selling state-of-the-art products, helping us do agile contracting better, all of those things is going to grow the pie, and I think should benefit the companies and benefit shareholders. And that is not always, it's more popular to say than it is to do, but I think it's important that we start to be more honest with each other about what it takes in order to transform government. You really want to have a partnership? Those are the kind of things that are going to have to be part of that partnership. Otherwise, it's going to be a very adversarial relationship in the future, and that's bad for everyone.
Very much appreciated those candid comments. So gentlemen, thank you very much. We've kind of gone over our time here, so thank you for taking time and sharing your insights.
Thank you.